So Charlotte was bold. She straight up, or was she jealous though? She could have been bold, but she had to be jealous because she didn't like that other girl was flirting with me. So Charlotte asked for my address, like, yeah, I can come see you later today. Now here's the deal. I didn't even know Charlotte had a whip. I didn't even know she had a whip, you feel me? So she like, yeah, I could come see you later today. I'm like, all right, I ain't really worried about she gonna come see me later today. She probably just talking, just showing that she's talking to me on the side to make the other girl jealous. So I give her my address. Give her my address, boom. She like, I'll see you later today. Boom, and I dip off, all right? I make it to the crib. I would search around the house. Boom. My mom, she's out there in the bar with my dad. So I'm like, hey, y'all, I'm home. My mama said, take care of your brother. We're going to be out here at the bar for a while, and then I'm going to get ready to go for a ride, me and your dad. Now, my dad take my mom for a ride, shuffle her around. She go for a ride every day. So I said, okay. So boom. I goes back in the crib. I checks on Caleb. I go to my room. I'm chilling in the room. I'm like, it's open. Mark like, what up, ugly? I'm like, what up, fat head? He like, nothing. He like, hey, I got something to tell you. I'm like, what you got to tell me? He like, I'm sneaking out tonight. I'm like, Mark, why you sneaking out tonight? He like, man, this girl, she got us tickets to this movie. I'm like, okay, did you ask mom? He like, no, I'm on punishment. Why would I ask mom? I'm on punishment. I'm like, how you getting out? He like, that's when you come in. I'm like, no, that is not when I come in. He like, no, that's when you come in. He like, I need your help. I'm like, I got my own stuff going on. He like, I'm gonna need your help, man, real bad. He like, look, all I need you to do is to help me get outside the crib and get back in. I'm like, that's my whole help. That's more than a little help. That's a lot of help. That's a lot of help. That's not a little help. That's a lot of help. So he like, all right, if I get myself out, you gonna get me back in? I'm like, all right, you leave out. He like, but if I can't leave out the front door? I'm like, well, mom told me she going for a ride later. He like, yeah, what time? I'm like, I don't know. She didn't give me no time. She just told me later. Now, mom, even though she was out in the bar, she the type that run in and out the house all day long, checking on Caleb, checking on the house, coming upstairs. Now, she had a camera inside her bar, but my mom was the type that always come in and out the house. No matter if she's going back in her room to roll up a joint or whatever the case may be. Make a phone call, check a call ID, whatever. My mama was always running in and out the house. So boom, as my mama running in and out the house, me and Mark is already talking. We trying to discuss his game plan because he's trying to sneak out to go to the show with this little boo thing later. The bell rings. My mom is coming downstairs. She like, who is that? Because I know I ain't got nobody coming up here. They ain't getting in, not in here. And so we here. So I'm like, still talking to Mark. He like, look, you got to help me. Ooh, he steady talking. All I hear is, Rody Dody, come here. So I'm like, what she want? So Mark like, you think she heard us? I'm like, no. He like, come on. So boom, we go downstairs together, me and Mark. She got the door open. As we hit in the corner coming downstairs, I see Charlotte. I'm like, I couldn't say, like, yo, Charlotte. My mama said, you know her? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, she worked with us. I think she's the supervisor. And so she like, okay. She like, what she's doing here? I'm like, I don't know. Can I see? And so she was like, yeah, you could see. But my mama had wondering eyes. So Mark like, bro, she fine. I'm like, stop. So my mama say, yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'm not playing with you, Roshan. 5 minutes. I'm like, she like, ain't no mom. Shh. 5 minutes before I change my mind. I go out there. I shut the door. She like, hey. So I'm trying to be cool. I'm like, hey, what's going on? She like, that was awkward. I'm like, my mom is crazy. I'm like, I'm sorry about that. I'm like, what you doing here? She like, I told you I wanted to see you. She like, you want to go to the beach? I'm like, to the beach? I'm like, who all going? She like, well, friend might pop up there and him and his friends, but just me so far. But I just want to see if you want to come, probably do an L. I'm like, I want to come. She like, well, come on, let's go. I'm like, come inside, come on, right? I tell her to come inside because I feel like I'm finna finesse my mom, so come inside. So boom, she comes inside. She sits on it. Now, we had an Italian couch that go all the way around. It was Italian couch, so she sits on the couch. Now, my mama don't like nobody in her living room, but I got to give hospitality, okay? So boom, she goes, she sits on the couch. My mom, she's upstairs, right? So I goes upstairs. I'm like, hey, Mom, can I talk to you? She's like, wait, give me a second, give me a second. She shoots outside, goes to the bar area. So I'm like, okay, so Mark comes upstairs. I'm just waiting for my mom. Like, the dining room and the kitchen and the back door, it was kind of like, foop, foop, foop. So I was just like, still just standing there, sticking around, waiting on my mom. Mark comes upstairs. He like, yo, who was that? I'm like, he like, oh, so he like, hey. I'm like, He like, no, just tell him, hey, bro. I'm like, she like, it's okay, hey. He like, so you like my brother, huh? She like, your brother? She don't know. All she know is I'm a lesbian. She don't know. So he like, yeah, my brother. So she like, oh, well, no, we cool. Me and your brother cool. I'm like, Mark. He like, what's wrong with your neck? I'm like, he like, what? I'm like, he like, what? I'm like, get out, bye, go. So here come Caleb. He like, I'm thirsty. I said, what? He say, I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty and I want popcorn with extra butter. I'm like, Mark, can he like, nope, I can't. You just told me to go. Hey, you got company. I gotta go. I gotta go. He leaves. Mark leaves. Mom comes back in, right? Mom comes back in. I'm like, Mom, Caleb want me to make him some popcorn. So I started making his popcorn. She like, okay, I got something to do. Hold on. She like, give me 1 second. So my mama goes back into her room. I pops his popcorn. I pops the butter. My mama shoots back downstairs. She's gone. Charlotte's standing right there. I'm warming up his butter. I go. Now, my mama at the time, she got people coming over. I didn't even know, right? The bell rings. I open the door. They're like, hey, is May here? Now, I see that they in like chief of firefighter clothes, like firefighter clothes. So I was like, all right, okay, there we go get her because my dad is a chief of firefighter. So I guess all the cheese is about to connect. So I was like, okay, they mean business because they came in a uniform. So I'm like, Mom, so people out there, so my mama was like, oh my God. My mama kept her hair tied up because she didn't like different energy touching her hair. My mama had really long hair. She was Puerto Rican, so she had really long hair. Okay. So boom, she had her hair tied up. So she comes and she sees, she's like, oh yeah. We all in the back. We all in the back at the bar. Y'all just go on ahead. So I'm like, man, I got to go to the bathroom now. Caleb got his buttery popcorn at this time. I go to the bathroom, right? As I go to the bathroom, I come back. I go check on Charlotte. My mama is coming out her room. She drops her hair, right? She drops her hair. So I'm down there. I'm like, hey, I'm finna ask my mama real quick about, you know what I'm saying, if I can go to the beach with you. She like, yeah, come on, let's go. She like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, just give me a second. So all I hear is Marky like, Brody Doty, come here real quick. I'm like, I'm busy. He like, bro, come here. I'm like, I'll be right back. So I go shoot downstairs. I'm like, what? He like, bro, I'm finna go get a quarter. I'm like, how? He like, and then I'm gonna leave from there. I'm like, but how you gonna get out? He like, I'm gonna leave out with your friend. When's she leaving out? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm finna ask Mom, can I go to the beach? He like, can I go with y'all? I'm like, no. You can't go. No, you're not going to the beach with us. He like, I don't really want to go to the beach with you. I want to go do my own thing, but that's what I'm going to say. I'm like, all right, just give me a second. I got you. So boom. My mama and I already saw my mama taking down her hair. So I goes back upstairs and I goes in the living room and I'm like, where's Charlotte? So I goes out the door. I'm like, looking around, I'm like, where did she go? So I go back in the crib. I'm like, wait, where did she go? So I go downstairs to see, did she go to the bathroom? I'm like, what happened? So I go upstairs. I'm like, Mom, did you see Charlotte? She said, yeah, I kicked her out. I said, why you kick her out? She said, first off, the way she came in dressing to come see your family with fishnet stockings on and shorts. But my mama dropped the hat, so my mama was trying to prove a point. My mama wanted to let her know I'm the only one. My mama got dolled up. These the same chief of firefighter people that always come. These the same firefighters that always come in. My mama keep her hair tied up. But since she saw Charlotte in the building, she felt the need to drop her hair, get real sexy, and kick her out while I'm doing whatever. So I say, but Mom, she just wanted me to go to the beach. She said, well, you won't be going to any beach, especially me catching you coming in the house late at night and you telling me that you was at work. No, you're not going to no beach. And I don't want to never see her coming in the house. I know a rat when I see a rat. She was calling her a rat. So I'm like, okay, Mom, so I'm sad. She like, you getting mad over what? Something like that? She ain't even all that. So that my mama telling me that my mama going there. But to me, she was fine. Boom. My mama like, I'm going out there to the bar. My mama did. Mark come to the door, to my room door. Because I'm in the room like, man, I need to call her, right? All I hear is toot, 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 toot. I'm like, it's open. He like, bro, I'm ready. Mark got his scavenger hat on. He got his camping hat on. I'm like, bro, where you going? He like, I just need to be able not to get caught on camera. I'm like, that's not the way to go. He like, look, come on, help me out. I'm like, just leave out my window. He like, you gonna make sure I ain't gonna fall? I'm like, I promise you, I'm gonna make sure. He like, no, cause Caleb failed last time. I'm like, I'm not gonna. Trust me.